Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome back to the Empower Me Show. I am Pam Bright. I'm your hostess for this show. I'm so glad you're here. Those of you who are new to me, welcome. We are always about you in this particular show. It's always about you and what you need on your empowerment journey. So welcome. Those of you who've been following me for a while know that kind of the format for what happens in the show, although the spirits kind of take over and decide from moment to moment how we're going to kind of gravitate towards different ideas and subjects and ways of handling this spiritual journey that we're all on. And so that's what's exciting for me as the hostess of this program. And sometimes I get to have beautiful people like Sarah join me on my show, our show. It's not, I don't even think of it as my show. I'm the hostess, but it's your show. So the Empower Me Show is all about your personal transformation and your spiritual journey. And how do you navigate these waters of change in these very changing times in 2023? And how do you get the support that you need to feel empowered, to feel like you're on track, to feel like you are in the solution rather than the problem? All of those different ways we work with to empower you to make really powerful choices with clarity for your life and for your path. So welcome, Sarah, to the show. I'm so glad that we have connected finally in person.
Yes.
It's, of course,
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yay, I'm so glad. So where are you in the world, Sarah?
I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, you are? Okay, great.
Yeah.
In Windy City. Awesome.
Yes.
So we're coming to you from Chicago and from Linwood, Washington. So welcome to everybody to this show where we are featuring Sarah as an artist, as a way shower for the shadow self, looking at how we deal with the shadow and how do we get empowered through our shadow selves in a way that we can then teach and share with other people about that same path. So, of course, I'm sure that Sarah has some other wonderful things up her sleeve of what she would like to share with us, which is great. But before we get started any further, I definitely need to ground myself and to release everything from the day so far and really come into my divine union with my guides, teachers, and angels. So I hope that you will join me with that process.
Absolutely.
If you're in a place where you can close your eyes, everyone, please do that. If you need to stay alert for whatever reason, go ahead and stay alert so that you're safe, but know that all the transmissions coming through will go into the places in your soul that they need to be in order for you to get the best out of this broadcast. So I'm going to close my eyes now. And I'm going to concentrate on my breathing because my breath is my connector to the divine. And this show is all about the connection with the divine, whatever your belief system is in that. So as I connect in with my breathing, I then concentrate on the breathing that goes into my solar plexus and into my heart. And those two places are the power centers in my own body. Some of you may feel it more in the third eye, right in the forehead. You may want to connect directly in the top of your head up to source. I like to think of it as a channel. So it goes from the out in the ethers to the stars and the planets, the Milky Way, to the other galaxies, whatever I need to connect to at the time. And I bring that energy down into myself. So I come into the top of my head and I bring it all the way down through my spine. And then I connect in with the earth. And that's what I'm going to do for us in this transmission. So simply allow yourself to receive whatever comes through, trusting that you'll get exactly what you need. So, Creator of all that is, the one who lives and breathes within all things, we thank you for our lives and we thank you for this day. We now ask that all of the beings of light, all of the beings of the earth, and all of the beings of the in-between come together now to assist us humans in our earth walk. And we now ask that all the energies of the earth plane bring up that energy from the middle of the earth, centering in on the core crystals of the earth and pulling in the energies of those core crystals into our bodies. And I'm going to use some light language now to assist with that, just trusting that you will receive exactly what you need. Anasaneta indada sene etana maneke. Asana etana masana metana masena manehi. Oh nasana yesana gehi ana yesana yekihi. And I'm bringing them up through my legs, up into my torso. Wandasana yesana nena yehi. Hey, nasana ye. You might want to use your hands to actually bring up that energy like roots of a tree, bringing the energy up, up, up. Nasana nesana ye, nasana ye, sana ye, sana ye. And now it's right about my heart space, bringing it all the way up to the top of my head. Na sanaye sanaye nahi nahi nahi. Bringing it all the way up and out. Yeah. We now ask those energies to go up and out to the stars, to the planets, all the planets in our solar system. And we now ask that the multiverse respond to our call and bring those energies forward, whatever we need now. Then we bring that right into the center of the heart, letting it just settle in right where we live in our bodies. Haya sana kia ya. Eya sara itaramaki. Na sana mekane kie. O te na sana kisha namayesa. And as we connect in with all of the energies that have just come in, we ask each of those energies to assist our physical bodies, bringing our energy systems into balance, allowing our inner core to respond to our breath, our thoughts, our support systems, our supplements, our foods, our drinks, our waters, everything that we need to sustain ourselves as physical humans. We now ask that all of those energies come into balance now. Anasana ke ataraki amamaiki ala chechea sanamaki ala patani tina mayesiti bainti. Une bala tana mayasara bu undaisa. Nika inda baiki maya uta neua. And just ask any specific guides that you work with to come with you into this space, knowing that you will receive exactly what you need. And when you're ready, you can start moving your body around a little bit to come back into your physical self. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. We never know where we're going to go with those transmissions, but here we are. So I always do this at the beginning of each show because I think it's important that we release everything from the day up until this moment. And you can do that anytime, anywhere, for whatever reason, okay? It's also been said that you can start your day over anytime, especially if you're having a rough time in your life, you can actually start your day over, and it's simply through intention. So if you had a fight with a boss or, trouble with a housemate or a lover, you can switch it up and say, you know what? I'm deciding to start my day over right now. And then you speak it out loud and you give it some love and you say, okay, we're starting over. That's a great way to begin anew anytime that you wish. So some of you, that's relevant for right now. So there you go. You got that transmission for yourself. So today we are talking to Miss Sarah, who has agreed to be on the show. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad. So I wanted to share with all of you how Sarah and I got connected. Sarah is on Facebook, and Sarah has recently said she's going to be ending her employment out in the world for other people, and she's going to be doing her artwork full time. And one of the things she was advertising on Facebook was that she did these galactic guardian paintings. And I got really excited because, as you know, I am a channel for many spirits that come through me, and the galaxies are waiting to have the light language flow through me to you. And so I'm going to see if you can see this. This is what she made for me. If I can show that to you, and hopefully that you guys can see that. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. It's kind of hard to see the writing, but it's light language in print for those of you who are writers and are able to do what's called the light language scripts. That's what comes through. And anyway, this being has been called, she told me her name is Aria. She's Angel Aria. And so she has been my teacher and my helper in my house and in my life since Sarah and I met online. And I've been watching Sarah's unfoldment of her spiritual gifts. And it's really wonderful to be a part of that, even though I haven't physically been able to hug you and kiss you and say hello.
Yes.
And shake your hand or whatever we do together. But this is a wonderful venue now to be able to meet people anywhere in the world. So Sarah, tell us about you and what you're doing now and what you have been doing and kind of the world of you.
So recently I really have been doing shadow work so much just because there has been so much happening. There's been so many different things going on, so many different, energies in the world. And so we're getting all of these different things at one time, anything that like the inner child things I've been working with, and just really focusing on channeling the drawings that I get from spirit, because that's how I that's how I channel. I do it through drawing. I get it from clairvoyance a lot of the time. So I'll see the images in my head and then I have to get them on paper. And as I do, more just starts to unfold. So that's really just been such a meditative part of my life, is being able to channel that energy into a piece of art.
That's wonderful. Yes. And it is such a gift that you have.
Thank you.
And I've noticed they keep changing as far as structure. And so,
Yes.
So that's what's really awesome too, because what I hear from that is that you are open to whatever wants to come through you for the collective.
Definitely.
Is kind of like your commitment to being of service in the world.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happens. Sometimes I'm not even sure sometimes what comes through. It can be, the galactic guides, or it can be from the fairy realm, it can be from the spirit realm, it can be ancestors, elementals, anything of that nature.
Okay, great. Awesome. So we will find out more about how to get people to you if they want to receive from you in that way. Tell us about the spirit boxes that I've seen advertised also on Facebook. Tell us about that process.
So I love to create these. They're little, they're kind of like assemblage art. So it's kind of like just different pieces and things of that nature. But when I do them, the person comes to me and then I connect with their energy with permission. And I go on these little hunts around nature. I find different objects, different things that I'm being called to add to this. And then I use a lot of vintage art too, like different things that already have connections to the past and things of that nature. And it's just kind of like symbolism of the different things that go into these pieces. There can be like butterfly wings, and that tells about the transformation that they're going through. Different herbs, different things that have all of the different connections to different parts of that person's journey. And so when I put all of this together, it can be kind of a meditative tool, something that they hold on to during that meditation to learn more about what has been put in it. Because each of the pieces I've been drawn to do intuitively from spirit. So I go ahead and I just trust that, because sometimes trusting it can be so difficult. But when I do, I know that I'm picking the right parts of it for this person. I'm giving them the right type of healing or the right type of connection that they need at the time.
That's wonderful. That's perfect. So have you always had a connection with spirit, or has it been really strong with you for your entire life?
I feel like it has. Like, even when I was really young, I can still remember just feeling certain things and just knowing certain things without really understanding why. But it wasn't until I was about 22, 23 that I really got the big spiritual awakening, because that's when I started to understand that the things I was experiencing were spiritual. They were different things that I was being guided to understand. So I would find feathers. I would find myself in the middle of a rainstorm just feeling so cleansed, or I would have very vivid dreams all of the time. Even when I was younger, I could always remember my dreams, and I always felt like they were purposeful, like they had a message. And so I'm always just big into dreams, because I know that that was the first place where I felt like I was really getting that connection.
Okay, great. So it's interesting. Are you noticing that on my screen right now, we have a little friend that is popping in and out? So
yes. I keep looking at it and I'm like, what are you doing over there?
I know. So we believe that spirits, this is what we believe, those of us who are connected to me, definitely, and I'm sure that you would agree, the spirits will just show up and they will make themselves known in one way or the other.
Yes.
And those of you who have been following me for a while know that that's true, that the spirit world is alive and well, even though we can't necessarily see them. Some of us can, some of us can't. So, but this little guy is deciding it's just going to show up, and it's going to pop its head in, or its square body or whatever, whenever it wants to. So I'm loving that a lot right now.
Yes, I definitely feel that too. And I can see it like in your little corner too. They're just like,
yeah, they keep popping up. Yep. From time to time. That's great. So tell us about, I know that some of the people that are connected to me on this broadcast have very vivid dreams, and they are unsure about, okay, how did that come up? And what do I do with this? And how do I know if the message is relevant right now for me? How am I supposed to dissect that? What is
Okay.
your experience of that?
So, absolutely, everything that we see in dreams is like a reflection of our subconscious. It can be the things that we're working through, the things that need to come up in order for us to heal them and let them go. It can also be different messages from our spirit guides. So, like anything that you see that sticks out, when you wake up in the morning and you remember something specific, that was a message. That was not just a dream, that was a message. So, if you're seeing different colors, look up what the colors mean, because each of those colors can tell you something different, different symbols or things of that nature. If you wake up remembering it specifically, it is a message. It's definitely something that you needed to see or experience in that time. It's all purposeful.
Yes, great. That's perfect. Let's see. So let's go back to, you said that you've had connections with spirit from when you were very young,
Yes.
but that you had a spiritual awakening. When would you say that spiritual awakening happened, and what was it about the awakening piece that was different from the way that it had been with your spiritual connection?
I think that when the spiritual awakening happened, I started to get more visions. So I would randomly feel like I was in the middle of a dream in waking life. So I would get like these images in my head and I'd go feel like I was somewhere else and then I'd come back. This was also a time when I felt more seen and validated so that I understood that it was actually something happening, because I had met a friend who was a psychic medium and she was like, you definitely have something there within you. And just that validation of being able to hear it from another person and understand that what I was experiencing was more spiritual than anything really helped me to go forward and express like the different gifts and things like that, develop those and really focus on the different things that I was experiencing as something that I was supposed to be sharing and channeling and just showing the world so that others could understand and then come to that point for themselves too.
Got it. I got it. Okay, great. So I do know that many of you that come to Transformation Talk Radio come to Transformation Talk Radio because there's so many different viewpoints, so many different shows that open us up to kind of where we are on our spiritual path. And so those of you who have found this broadcast, again, I thank you because it's all about you. And we really, our goal is to have tools, tips, and techniques that will help you on your empowering journey. So if I were to ask you, let me ask you two questions. One is, what does empowerment mean to you? I'll ask you that first. What does that mean to you when I say empowerment?
I think empowerment to me is just standing in your power and speaking your voice, allowing yourself to stand in who you are as a person unapologetically, like with that complete confidence of knowing who you are and being empowered by knowing that who you are is enough and who you are is just perfect the way it is.
I love that statement. Who you are is enough. Wow. I have had quite a journey myself with that, which
Yes.
I'm sure that you have as well.
Most definitely.
And many, many people who are spiritually aligned with their purpose in the world have gone through that, wondering, who am I? What am I about? Am I okay? All those different questions, right? And when we can get to the place of, I am enough, just the way I am. You who are listening are enough, just exactly the way you are. That's a huge bit of truth for you to allow yourself to experience. So thank you for that. The second question is, what does it mean to you to be a spiritual being having a human experience?
Well, it's definitely been a journey. I'm telling you, like it's a labyrinth. Every time you go around a corner, you're experiencing something new. Things that you thought that you healed might come up again, and that's okay. Those are just deeper healings that you have to go through. And so, being a human in this, we have so many different emotions. We have so many different things happening around us, so many things that we're absorbing. And so to really be grounded in that spiritual sense after experiencing everything around you can be difficult. And I live by grounding because I know that if I don't, I'm going to be up there somewhere. So being a
Mhm.
human in this spiritual, it's not easy. It's not going to be because you have to go through a lot of things to get to where it can be. It can be a flow. But when you allow yourself to do that flow, that's when it gets to that place where you're like, I know what I'm doing. But it can take a long time to get there, or it can take an instant. It's definitely up to your journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you talk about grounding. What is your experience of grounding and how do you do it?
Okay, so grounding for me is I always imagine I put my feet flat on the floor and I imagine roots growing out of my feet and going into the earth. And for me, like I get this chill down my spine when I have gone far enough into the earth. And that is how I know that I am grounded in that place and in the space where I am. I also really love barefoot grounding when you go outside and you stand in the earth, because all of that is just, it's like for a moment, you're completely there with the earth and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Do you do a lot of connection with the fairy kingdom?
Absolutely. I definitely do. I always have felt very connected to them. And then I also realized that they were also helping me with my inner child. And they are definitely the ones to go to for that because they help you with that whimsy and with that feeling of airiness. But they also help you with that safety feeling of knowing that, like, your imagination, your beauty, your wonder is so important.
Absolutely. So it occurs to me that the fairies could and the other elementals could actually help people with grounding. So walking in the forest, connecting to a tree. Um, have you had much experience with that kind of experience of grounding and connecting to nature?
Yes, absolutely. Usually in the summertime when all the dandelions are blooming and everything like that, I will go to those places and walk around. And there's a different type of feeling. Like you can just, well, for me, I get these little sparkles of like white dots, like white lights on the sides of my eyes. And then for some reason, it kind of feels kind of foggy when you're walking through this space of the earth where it just feels like really light, like not even like heaven, but just to the point of um this lightness where you're just, it's comforting. And so when I connect like that and I touch the trees and I connect with the earth and I gather dandelions and things like that and I thank them, like it's just overall like a whole experience in itself. But it
Hmm.
is also very grounding because then you're thinking to yourself, you are meant to be here now, which has been such a strong message from spirit recently. And the fairies have really helped me to experience that, as well as that being right here now in ourselves is definitely so important. We're meant to be here now, you know, if that makes sense.
It does. And actually, I would love to hear more about that because I know that when we talked last, you had talked about the shadow self and that it's really important for us to address that. And
Yes.
so I would love to hear. I believe that every person that comes on this show has a message. And so obviously, that's where we want to go next is into that conversation. We're about midway through the hour now. I think we're going to take a break so that people can get some water, get different refreshment, kind of gather their things together. And really, if you want to call us, we can do that. We've got that phone line open at 1-800-930-2819 because both of us are eager to talk to you who are listening. and asking us questions and getting advice and getting some coaching and really help you with your spiritual journey. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Sarah some more about the shadow self and what are the gifts that we get to have when we address our shadow selves, those hidden parts of us that we've been avoiding for a while in our lifetime. So we'll be right back and we'll see you soon. Welcome back to the Empower Me Show. I am here with my new friend, Sarah. Sarah, how do you say your last name?
Narug.
Narug. Okay, Sarah Narug. She and I are just getting to know each other, and she is on Facebook for those of you who love to be on Facebook or Instagram, and you can find her lovely items that she's selling and making and creating in the world. What else do you do besides the artwork in the world? Are you providing coaching or psychic work, tarot cards, anything?
So I do tarot readings. I do those. I do also like oracle readings and also intuitive readings, but I can also help people with like local house cleansings and things of that nature as well.
Nice.
I'm really happy with those. And I do I am also connected to healing. So I can go in and like help you unblock your chakras and remove energy blocks and things of that nature as well.
Well, that's actually perfect timing because Bobby is just calling in. So Bobby, you get to talk to Sarah. Hello, my dear.
Hey, Pam. Hey, Sarah. How you guys doing?
We are wonderful. So we are talking to Sarah Narug. She is my new dear friend. And have you been hearing what she's been talking about up till now?
Yeah, she's talking about spirit boxes, healing, stuff like that.
Yes, healing stuff. Yes. So do you have a request or a connection or a desire that you'd like to talk to Sarah about today, or a need that you'd like some healing around?
Well, I'm getting into a new phase of my life, and 4 weeks ago, actually today has been a month since it happened, but a very, very, very special friend got in contact with me on Facebook. Her name's Gina, and we've been talking a lot, and now I'm making plans to go see her. And I'm just wanting any things about what will other people think of me and stuff like that, doing this, or, say I end up moving up there and stuff like that. And, I want all that stuff out of the way. And what does Sarah feel? What does she see happening with that situation?
Okay, so definitely with situations like this, it has to do with what you want in your life. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be your life. It's going to be your path. If you feel a strong connection to this person, then definitely do what you're going to be happy with. I don't know if I can give you like any insight on the situation itself, like the relationship and stuff like that. But definitely as far as like going up there and experiencing this, it could all be for a reason. It could be a lesson. It could be a beautiful experience for you. And I think that what's most important is what you feel about the situation, because it's going to be your life at the end of the day. I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Do you have any cards with you right now, Sarah?
I do. I have some, I have these magical messages from the fairies. They're oracle cards.
Oh, I think that would be perfect for Bobby.
So I can most definitely pull some for him. 1 second.
Hi, Gina, if you're listening.
Okay. Okay, so the first card that you received is the assertiveness. This is to stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. So this is definitely telling you to trust yourself. Trust what you feel about the situation and really make your voice be heard. Let people know where you stand in the situation. You also received the card that tells about spring, which is coming up very soon. And it says, your desires fully manifest as the flowers begin to bloom. So definitely coming with spring is going to be a really blooming time for you, and really just a time where you can grow. And so I definitely feel like when you're saying a month from now or a few days from now with spring comes these revelations for you. So I definitely think that that's a really positive, good sign for you with the situation that you're in. And then I'm going to pull you one extra card just to see what comes up for you, because I love these cards. These are my favorite. Okay. Be yourself. It says this situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. So most definitely, trust yourself. Trust what you are believing about the situation. Let your decisions be yours, your own, and just really explore who you are as a person. I think that these cards are definitely letting you know to speak your mind, speak how you feel about the situation, and live it for yourself as well, and for the person you're with, or for whatever reason you want. Definitely. This is what they're letting you know.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
I've been teaching Gina about working with Archangel Ariel, and so the two of them have been working together, and it's kind of cool. Like she'll get messages from her and stuff, and so
that's beautiful.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen with this.
Definitely.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Well, and I have an inside scoop on this too, because Bobby is one of my clients, as some of you know, and Gina is also opened up to me as well. So I've kind of got a little vested interest in this relationship working.
That's so awesome.
So thank you both for calling in. I know, Gina, probably you're listening too, and yes, Mama B will step aside so that you guys can have your life together and do what you do, but know that you're loved absolutely and 100%. And you just got a really great message from the fairies, Bobby, really asserting that you're on the right path. As long as you listen to your own heart, it will never lie to you. And I trust that. And I also trust that when we align ourselves with our spiritual guides, they are there for us 100%. And so your spirit team is there for you 100% and is guiding you towards your new future. So you get to trust every bit of support that you're getting.
Cool.
So thank you for that, my dear, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and know that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing.
All right.
All right, my dear. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you guys.
Love you too, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was really good timing. Excellent. So that's a little bit more of what Sarah does. For those of you who want to find her, we'll give you her contact information at the end of our broadcast. But tell us what the most important thing is for us to know about what you term as the shadow self.
So to me, the shadow self is every part of yourself that you have ever rejected. It is your trauma. It is your parts of you that you don't want to accept, or parts of you that are just buried down there. And what's so important about these parts is that they are important. They are needed. They need to be loved. And so when you really start to bring up these pieces, it can be difficult. You can go through crying spells. You can go through being angry. but you need to allow yourself to feel that. Shadow work is allowing yourself to feel every emotion that you have pushed away. It's allowing yourself to really experience what you need to, but not dwell in it. Because when we dwell in it, then we just sit in that space. But if you allow yourself to feel it, and then you're allowed to let it go, you are allowed to just say, I have felt this for as long as I need to, and now I'm ready to let it go. And so shadow work is just pulling out those pieces of yourself that you're not happy with, or the pieces of yourself, the things that you experienced as a child, or the things that you experienced in life, your triggers. All of those things are the shadow self. They're the different parts that are needed to heal. Because if you allow them to sit there, they're just going to fester. They're going to sit there, and it's going to become harder to get them out. So when you start doing that, it'll be a very emotional experience. But when you allow yourself to do it and then you let it go, there's going to be such a weight. Because I have gone through with the shadow work with myself personally, I have had days where I cried, but when I did, I could feel my guides with their hands on my shoulders telling me this was needed. And for how difficult it is or how hard it is to pull up those parts, know that it's going to make you even more strong, even more in alignment with yourself, which is so important. And it'll also give you room for the new doors that are about to open. If you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, those are the parts of yourself that you have to work on a lot as well, because they're going to get you moving again. It's going to get you feeling again. So I guess
awesome.
just, yes, in a small amount of words, the shadow self is everything that you dislike about yourself, everything that you feel doesn't make you adequate enough, but it's the parts that tell you, hey, you're going to love yourself regardless. So let those parts come up so that you can heal them, so you can get past those experiences to create new ones.
That's great. Thank you for that explanation. So before we end, what would be great to hear is, do you have like a small process or like a couple of steps that people can take that haven't necessarily been willing to face that yet,
Yes.
but they want to start? How do they begin to do this work?
So usually I'm really big on journaling. So that's something really good too. It helps you get it all out. Think of a few things a day, something that has made you upset about another person, because we are mirrors for everybody around us. Write down that one thing that you are getting irritated about someone else about, within reason, of course. But write down those little things. Write down the things that get you upset. Write down the things that you have experienced that you're not happy with, the things that you think that you regret, those things. Even just writing a list. And then every day, maybe go through one of the subjects. Open that up. Allow space for healing of that. But don't do too much at one time either, because then you're going to be exhausted. You need that rest in between all of that healing. Start with a list. Start with a couple like bullet points a day and just go from there. Let yourself slowly go into the process of pulling all of that out.
Well, that's great. Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to add on to that some of the things that I have done personally, because I've done a lot of healing work in my life from my inner core, all those places in my life that I had pushed aside, that I had ignored, that I had refused to look at, all those things that I'd hated, all that stuff just sits there. Sarah's right, until we deal with it. So definitely write it down. And if it feels like it's so big, you don't even know where to begin, or it's so scary, or I'm so traumatized, like if you've had trauma, if you've had deep-seated trauma in your life, abuse in your life, incest, domestic violence, rape, eating disorders, any of that stuff, that's pretty big and heavy stuff. Yes. I wouldn't recommend that you do that by yourself.
Yes, most definitely.
Recommend that you get very professional support for that. And I say that out of total love in my heart and no judgment. Definitely get yourself some support whether it's a coach, a counselor, a psychiatrist, something that will definitely help you through that, because that's something to set yourself up for success. If you are on a spiritual path and you feel like you are stable enough to handle whatever comes up, then that's when you start the writing process. Get yourself a coach or a counselor or a guide, somebody who can assist you and be your helper, someone who can witness whatever you're going through. That's going to be a huge step for you. These tarot cards and oracle cards and psychic readings, that's another way to really assist you on this path. We need to have affirmations and affirming people that will help us to know we're not going crazy, right?
Yes, that's
okay. I'm feeling this thing. How am I going to handle it? Am I out of my mind? Yada, 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 right? So Sarah and I both are available to you if you want support. We are absolutely on your side and here to serve you. So for people that want to hear verbally where to find you, how do they find you on Facebook?
Okay, so on Facebook, it is under my profile, Sarah Narug. And I think it's the only one on the entire Facebook that has the last name Narug. And it's Narug. And you just type that in. I also do have a link, but I'm not too sure of all the numbers of it. And then the Instagram one is Instagram.com/foxglove_findings. And that is for my business page as well.
Perfect. Awesome. And if those of you who are wanting it to be written down, send me a message either on Facebook or on the Empower Me Show at gmail.com, and I will send you that information. It also did come up, I think, on the advertisement for Transformation Talk Radio for the Empower Me Show. So you can get it all kinds of ways like that. We can definitely get you hooked up if you want to work with Sarah. She is an amazing artist, an amazing intuitive. She's absolutely from the heart. It shows in your whole face. It's so great.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, like the truth of who you are really shows through, which is something that we strive for on the Empower Me Show. So definitely get a hold of Sarah if you want some more assistance. If you want a visual representation of your spirit guides or a spirit box to be able to help you with navigating these very interesting times, definitely hook up with Sarah for that. If you want to get a hold of me, you know where to find me at Transformation Talk Radio every Thursday. I'm right here from noon to 1. Or you can find me on Facebook, as I said, under Pamela L. Bright or Bright Butterfly Enterprises. Lots of different ways. I also have a website, brightbutterflynetwork.com. Just have the intention that you're going to get the support that you need. That is my biggest recommendation and my biggest invitation to you, is that you never have to do life alone anymore. No matter whether you've done life alone before and thought, this is the way to do it, I got to just suck it up and handle it. Or if you're realizing, gosh, you know what? I need some help. I want to feel better. I want to get knowing that I'm on the right path. I need some friends and colleagues that will come and band around me to be able to live my life in an empowered way. That's what real spiritual living, I believe, is all about, is letting us have the support that's always available to us.
Absolutely.
So in the last couple minutes, what do you feel is the most important thing that the listeners need to hear from you?
There is no shame in asking for support. There's nothing that you could ever do to not need that support or to ever think that you don't deserve it. You are enough who you are. You are enough. You are exactly where you need to be. And the right situations are going to be there for you. Asking for support and help is so important. And I'm so glad that you said to look up the support system before doing that, because that is so important. I have my own support systems, and I know without them, it would have been 10 times harder. So there's no shame ever in asking for help. It's so important and needed.
Yes, indeed, it is. And another thing I really want to highlight for you guys is that, and gals, those of you who identify as male or female or not at all, I love you. So I totally believe that it is as important to love and empower the human body in all of its craziness, and especially and its health and its unhealth, as it is to have our spiritual bodies nurtured and loved. So if you need to take care of your human body and your health, absolutely 100% do that. We're dealing with illness in our home right now with our child and our teenager. And I tell you what I'm hearing from the health departments is that there's more crud happening in the physical body these days than ever before. And so if you're experiencing this phenomenon of, I have these different symptoms and nobody seems to know what's going on, then talk to me about that. Find me, because we can connect in with our spiritual guidance and have our spiritual guidance come along with us on the road to recovery. Okay. I believe that 100%. So do not do life alone any longer. Now is the time to open up all the stops to receiving and allowing yourself to come into this place of oneness. We're a big old community here, huge community. It's called planet Earth, right? Humankind. We're all together in this. We all chose this lifetime to be together. All 7 point whatever billion people we have on the planet now. We're all in it together, whether you know me or not. I love you. So, last words before we close, Sarah?
Just thank you so much for having me on here, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that everything just goes your way.
Oh, well, thank you. If I had everything going my way, I don't know if I'd have anything to work on.
Exactly. I guess you're right. Hope it all aligns.
Well, what's true is that I believe, this is another thought that I will leave you with, is that even though my life may look like it's all together, I still have stuff that I get to choose to work on. It's the choice to work on it or not work on it. That's the gift, is seeking whatever there is to be sought. And for me, my goal in life is to seek vulnerability and transparency for you. Okay, so that's my invitation to you as well, the listener, is to allow yourself to be seen and known. Because those of you who haven't allowed that, we miss out. So we want to know you. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you, Sarah, for joining me. I'm so glad that we have met and that we've connected. We're going to continue with that. And hopefully we can have you back on at another time and continue.
Most definitely.
Deep dive into human consciousness and the healing world. So love you guys. Have a wonderful day and know that your life is up to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.